as Marx pointed out, society is not just an aggregation of individuals. We have to enter into definite relations with one another. We depend upon those relations and are totally changed internally by those relations that we stand in. There is no super brain, some God that is thinking everything at once for us to sort of take bits of when we need them. Of course not. The only thinking things are individual human beings. And yet at the same time, those thinking human beings could not possibly think the things that they think without the rest of society to base themselves on, without the whole prehistory of humanity to base themselves on, and all the tools and all of the books, etc., that involves. And so, as Marx pointed out, to understand human essence, as he put it in the Theses on Feuerbach, you don't find it 100% in each individual taken separately. The human essence exists in the ensemble of social relations and never in any one person entirely. And therefore, we should think of consciousness not really as an individual thing. That's another mistake, to take it in each individual. Consciousness as it exists is a social phenomenon. It exists in society. And we as individuals partake in that. We take the parts of it that we need as and when we need them. Of course, we each have our own ideas. That is true. We're not all the same as everybody else. But we can only have that individuality that we do have thanks to the rest of humanity producing the ideas, the music, the culture, the ideas, etc. And we take the ones that we want to take, basically. And despite what these scientists think, this idea that consciousness gives no survival advantage is absolutely ridiculous. It clearly does. But actually, self-consciousness there's no magic. It's not really that the brain, yes, it's very complex, but it's not really a product of the brain in that direct fashion. Self-consciousness, again, is a product of society. We, of course, as I've explained, we make use of the treasure trove of ideas, of abstractions, of generalizations, and of tools that human society has developed, and of language, which enormously accelerates your intellectual development. But also being socialized in that way gives you a sense of yourself. And it allows you to understand yourself as a consistent thing that exists over time, rather than just to be lost in the moment. You're given a name, you're told about your life history by your parents and others around you when you're young. You build up a definite picture of yourself. But nevertheless, it's an enormously powerful thing to have, to be aware, both as a society and as an individual, of who you are, of what your mistakes are, of what your interests are, and therefore how you can adjust your behavior in order to live better, basically.